HIV and AIDS. What kind of tangible progress that you've gained so far from what you've been doing?
Malawi and some of us working in the HIV and the AIDS field have made advances in stabilizing the levels of the epidemic. We have further gone to the extent of ensuring that those with the virus are not suffering stigma, because in our communities in Africa we realize that stigma kills quicker than perhaps the AIDS epidemic itself. So to a certain extent we've reduced the effects of the impact of the HIV and AIDS epidemic.
All right. Another important issue that was raised by our audience was gay rights issues.
Yes.
And some have gone as far as calling you gay rights advocate. And I want to know why you're so passionate about it and how important it is for Malawi or any other African countries like Uganda to implement rights.
Rights, in my opinion, are inalienable and they are universal. They cut across the divide, and we don't have a right to curtail people's rights. As countries, we need to coexist. We come from an African society which believes in coexistence from the philosophy of Ubuntu. So certainly, these things are not alien. They've been there before. Only that previously we didn't talk about them, and now we are talking about them. So I feel passionate that no human being should be ostracized because they are what they are. And in the same way, I wouldn't want anybody to ostracize me.
Well, another issue that was raised in our audience was food aid. How do you think that Malawi can move from dependency to self-reliance and sustainable self-reliance in the future?
What we need to do is to combine technology and sophisticated technologies and basic technologies. I see Malawi has a potential as a country, having a massive volume of water. I think we can use that water. We can put into good use of that water by having either winter cropping, making sure that we grow crops that can sustain ourselves for a long time.
Last but not least, I want to ask you what I just asked you earlier, but I want to have it on tape. So, governance, what kind of standard are you?
The standard we have to set in Africa is to ensure that there is a level of above board respect for human rights, looking at transcending the levels of impunity that we have seen in Africa, where leaders have taken it for granted that they can ostracize their people, they can kill their people. Governments must ensure that they are accountable to its population, and the constitutions must rule as opposed to individuals taking themselves as above the constitution.
Is there anything you want to add to an African audience?
Yeah, certainly, as Africa has to change several things. The way we view our leaders, the way our leaders present themselves, and making sure that people at all levels of society participate in the national agenda to move the countries from where they are to our next step of development.